In today's video, I want to go over the revelation of a release date for a brand new PlayStation 4 Jrpg. Star Ocean First Departure R isn't getting a lot of hype. However, it is a game that I highly recommend the entire PlayStation audience to be aware about. One PlayStation 4 game you guys are all aware about, that's Death Stranding, and there will be a sizable gameplay reveal very soon at the Tokyo Game Show. Hideo Kojima has detailed the information on that, and we'll be looking at that. And also, Remnant from the Ashes was one of the sleeper hits of this year, and brand new content is coming to that game with an adventure mode dropping tomorrow and a brand new dungeon coming on September 19th. We'll talk all about that at the end of this video. First up, Star Ocean First Departure R. It was announced by Square Enix that it will launch digitally for PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch in the West, day and date with Japan on December 5th for $20.99. And again, that was announced by Square Enix and the developer Tri-Ace. Now, $21 is a pretty good price. I think that's actually the same price that Star Ocean The Last Hope 4K and HD remastered release for. So if you look at it that way, maybe this is a little bit expensive given that that game was a little bit more expensive. It might have been a little bit more expensive, but it was in that $20 threshold. Whatever the case may be, Star Ocean First Departure was a phenomenal game, and now you're getting a better version on the PlayStation 4. And here is an overview of the game, and we'll go over some new features in this version as well. It notes Space State 346, from a power yet undiscovered, a new generation will be born. Our tale begins on the primitive planet of Roak, where Roddick lives in the peaceful and uneventful town of Kratos. As a member of the village's local defense force tasked with the protection of Kratos, Roddick learns of a mysterious disease that has broken out in a neighboring town. Those infected turn to stone, but continue to live on in a petrified state. He, along with his two friends, Millie and Dorn, make their way to the neighboring town. Informed of a cure for the sickness, they head away where a healing herb is rumored to grow. When they reach the summit, the party encounters Ronix and Aaliyah, who appear before them in a pillar of light. Thus, the story of Star Ocean begins. Originally released in the West on the PlayStation Portable, Star Ocean First Departure R tells the story of a young swordsman and his companions who have first set off on a journey to find the cure to a deadly disease, which then spirals into an adventure that spans across the Sea of the Stars. This HD remaster version includes the following features and boosts to enhance the experience. First of all, you've got full voiceovers. Players can choose between the original full voice casts from the PlayStation Portable system version of the game in either Japanese or English, or the newly recorded version featuring the voice cast from the original Super Famicom version in Japanese, which was previously released in Japan only, so that is a very nice addition. New character illustrations. Players can opt for the original character illustrations utilized in Star Ocean First Departure, or brand new versions hand-drawn by the famous illustrator Katsumi Inami, who did Star Ocean The Last Hope. Speed mode. Players can speed up movement to traverse the world more quickly. This has been something that's been added to a lot of Japanese RPGs, and I definitely appreciate it. That's actually something added in Trails of Cold Steel as well, and the Final Fantasy remasters all add that. The Final Fantasy VIII remaster did, and I believe Final Fantasy VII on the PS4 has it as well. Just makes it so that if you do want to experience the story and you want to go through the game a little bit quicker, because back in the day, these JRPGs were gigantic time sinks, and at this point, some of us have gotten older. We might have jobs, we might have other responsibilities, you know, whatever the case may be. Going through a JRPG like this a little bit quicker is definitely appreciated. And lastly, it is also seeing adjusted game balance, adjusted battle difficulty, enabling players to enjoy a more challenging combat, a signature quality of the Star Ocean series. Yes, the combat in Star Ocean is generally rather good, and it does feature a more action-oriented playstyle, so that's rather nice. I believe that this is going to be a game that's going to be a little bit of a hard sell to some people just based on its old school visual style. I mean, you look at this game right away and you can tell that this is a very old game, and that's going to be a hard sell to people in 2019, especially when it's not all too cheap of a game. $21 is still a sizable asking price, and given that during a PlayStation Store sale like we see in the Big in Japan sale, $21 can get you a long way, and I believe Star Ocean 4 is actually discounted to like $11 as a part of that sale. So just saying about that. However, come December 5th, it will be released, and Star Ocean First Departure is a great game, but if you're off-put by the visual style and the technicality of the game, maybe you should wait for a sale. I do imagine that it's going to go on sale fairly quickly. I mean, by the end of 2020, I imagine that it is going to be at least 50% off, so if you can wait a little bit, that'll probably end up paying dividends, especially because there are so many compelling games coming out over the next few months that if you miss out on Star Ocean 1 for now, it's gonna go on sale sometime in the future, and you can check it out then. Okay, moving on from that, a game that I think a lot of you guys will be picking up on day one, Death Stranding, and it is getting some gameplay at the Tokyo Tokyo Game Show. However, I don't think anyone was expecting to see this much gameplay. Hideo Kojima detailed that it's gonna be nearly 49 minutes long, nearly 50 minutes of new content. In a new tweet from director Hideo Kojima, it was revealed that the gameplay video for Death Stranding that is set to be shown this week will be clocking in at 49 minutes in length. Kojima shared an image of his computer that showed an editing timeline for the video that he has clearly been working on. It's gonna be 49 minutes, Kojima said in the caption attached to the tweet. Now, we've known that Death Stranding was gonna have a big impact at the Tokyo Game Show. I don't think any of us were expecting to see nearly 50 minutes of new content. I mean, that is pretty insane. I don't really think it's that necessary at this point. I mean, maybe you can come from the standpoint of Death Stranding has been such a confusing game with all of its revelation that I can understand from that standpoint. I just kind of wish if that was their thinking and their methodology, maybe give us a little bit more clarity when you actually showed off the game. At this point, we do have a general understanding of the gameplay and more information than we did, you know, back a year ago. I mean, a year ago, I was still completely lost on what Death Stranding was. I mean, even less than a year ago, you go back 6 to 8 months and it was so confusing what Death Stranding actually was, and that's why I was so uncertain of this being a 2019 release. Even though that's been the long-standing rumor, I was just like, we hardly know anything about this game. We don't really know what the story is about. Give it up to Hideo Kojima. He likes to surround his games with a lot of mystery. I mean, going back to Metal Gear Solid 5's original revelation as a Moby Dick Studios production or whatever it was back then in 2013. That revelation was certainly unique, and the journey of Death Stranding has also been very unique, but I imagine that the game is going to turn out to be excellent. As a PlayStation 4 exclusive with that significant amount of funding, with Hideo Kojima at the helm of a brand new IP, with all the star-studded cast that's in the game, I mean, this game has potential to be an absolute killer. It could be the game of the year. And it looks like they're also emphasizing that anyone can play this game. If you want to play on the easiest difficulty and just naturally go through the story and really emphasize that, you can do so. If you want to play at a more challenging difficulty and make sure that gameplay is emphasized, well, you can do that as well. But I imagine that the story is going to be rather strong in Death Stranding, given that it is a Hideo Kojima title. I just think 49 minutes of gameplay, that is a ton of gameplay, and I just don't want to be seeing that much content out of a game ahead of its release. I want some uncertainty. I want some mystery, especially with a game like Death Stranding. Do you really need to show off 49 minutes of stuff to sell people on this game? No, I don't think so at all. Maybe it's just something to satisfy those at attendance at the Tokyo Game Show, and obviously those that are going to TGS want to see more of Death Stranding. I just question, is 49 minutes what they want to see? Nonetheless, that's me complaining about first world problems. That's not a big issue at all, and I'm sure that the game is going to be released on November 8th and turn out really, really well, so be on the lookout for that. And lastly, I do want to mention that one of the sleeper hits of 2019 in Remnant from the Ashes is getting a significant new update, adding adventure mode on September 12th and a brand new dungeon on September 19th. Okay, tomorrow we're getting adventure mode, which will be bringing a brand new layer of exploration to Remnant from the Ashes by allowing players to re-roll the following biomes: Ruined Earth, Rom, and Yaisho, without having to play all the way through the main campaign. Players and their teammates can activate the mode from the World Stone in Ward 13 and select to roll one of these dynamically generated biomes, then continue to explore dungeons, encounter new enemies, or fight their favorite or toughest world bosses, in addition to giving players a chance to uncover all of the game's secrets. All of their progress and items obtained in adventure mode stay with their characters so they can keep rolling in order to obtain all of the many weapons, armors, mods, and other items the game has to offer. Adventure mode will be dropping tomorrow as a free update, and also dropping as a free update next week, 8 days from now to be exact, a brand new dungeon in Lato's lab that'll be coming September 19th, and this takes you on a quest through Research Station Alpha. The lab was established to research mysterious red crystals, with the initial goal of using them as a source of infinite energy. The head researcher, Leto, theorized the crystals could be used for something else to bridge space-time for near instantaneous travel. He was the one to unlock the World Stone on Ward 16, allowing mankind to take their fight-fledging trips to other worlds. Leto's experiments quickly diverged from their initial goal as he started using the World Stones to fuel a series of dubious experiments. The lab continued operating for months after the Root invaded, but was ultimately forced to evacuate when one of Leto's experiments went awry. So this is incredibly exciting, not only because Remnant from the Ashes was a terrific game, a surprisingly great game, but it was released at a budget price point of $39.99. I believe it was even cheaper on PC. Whatever the case may be, it was a budget release, and I really put that as a factor to why this game did really well. Much like World War Z, I thought it just made for a more enticing purchase, when this is a game you probably could have gone away with charging $49.99 or $59.99, but I think pricing it at $39.99 was just a very strategic business decision, and it ended up paying dividends, so that's great to see. Hopefully more games follow suit, but you would think with a price point release like that, they would be a little bit more hesitant in releasing free updates and free content, but here we have it, a sizable new mode in the adventure mode and a brand new dungeon in Lado's Lab, exciting new additions, and Remnant from the Ashes is only getting better. If you do want a co-op game, if you want a challenging game, I would highly recommend you to check it out. Again, at a budget price point, it's highly worth it. Hasn't gone on sale all too much, but if it does as a part of a Black Friday sale or whatever the case may be, definitely going to be worth a pickup. Even if it's down only like $10, if it's down to like $29.99, it would be a great buy just given the quality and given the content that is being added. And that's going to conclude this video. Again, a fantastic JRPG is headed to the PlayStation 4 with Star Ocean First Departure R. That'll be dropping on December 5th. It looks like Death Stranding is going to be getting a lot of new gameplay, nearly 50 minutes long as detailed by Hideo Kojima, and Remnant from the Ashes is getting a brand new update adding adventure mode on September 12th and a brand new dungeon on September 19th. That's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching and goodbye.